Hello students, we were discussing about bijective functions, one-on correspondence, equivalent sets. Let us discuss some more results and more examples on bijective function, right? Or injective function. Okay? Suppose let x and y be any two finite sets. Finite sets. These are two finite sets. And f is a function, and f is a function from x to y, be injective. Be injective. Then what is the relationship between the cardinalities of x and y? Yes, x and y are finite sets. F is a function from x to y which is injective. Injective means 1, 1. So what is the relationship between the cardinalities of these two sets? Let us see. You see, suppose our x is this, y is this, f is a function from x to y. Suppose it has x1, x2, x3 up to xm elements, and it has y1, y2, y3 up to yn elements. You see, if m is less than n, if m is less than n, you cannot form, if m is greater than n, then you cannot form an injective function. Why? Suppose you will take, suppose it has 3 elements, suppose x1, x2, x3, right? x3, you just see it has, say, it is x, it is y, y4, right? 4 elements. It has 4 elements, right? It has 3 elements, it has 4 elements. If you join this, what will happen? x1, x3, y3. And one element will be excluded from the image set of x, right? Image of x1 is y1, x2 is y2, x3 is y3. But what about y4? It has no pre-image there, right? So this can be formed. An injective function can be formed. But in reverse case, suppose it has 4 elements, x1, x2, x3, x4. Y has 3 elements, y1, y2 and y3. You see, if you want to find an injective function, you can this. But what about x4? You cannot find an image of x4 here, because if you will join to this or somewhere here, then it will be no more an injective function. So when cardinality of x is greater than cardinality of y, we cannot form an injective function. We cannot form an injective function. So if x and y are two finite sets and f is injective, then what conclusion you can draw? Yes, then cardinality of x must be less than equal to cardinality of y, right? Cardinality of x must be less than equal to cardinality of y. And similarly, g from x to y, if g from x to y is surjective, then cardinality of x must be greater than equal to cardinality of y. Wow. Yes, in the first case we have taken x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, y4. At base, its elements will be, say, like this. Your function is like this. Then you see one element in y will remain, which will not related to any element of x, to which no element of x is related. So this is excluded from the range set of the function. So this function cannot be on 2. This function cannot be on 2. You see, it has 3 elements, it has 4 elements. These 3 elements are related to at base. These 3 elements can be related to 3 elements of y. It may be less than that, but at base, at most, it will be related to 3 elements. So one element will be excluded from the range. So in this case, you cannot form a surjective function. So if the function is surjective, then cardinality of x is greater than equal to cardinality of y. Right? So NB. Achha. Similarly, if f from x to y is bijective, that means it is both injective as well as surjective, then what will happen? Cardinality of x must be equal to cardinality of y. We have already seen it. These two sets have 1-1 correspondence. Bijective function means they have 1-1 correspondence. So yes, mind it here. If f is injective, then cardinality of x is less than equal to cardinality of y. If it is surjective, then cardinality of x will be greater than equal to cardinality of y. Yes, you can note. Number 1, if cardinality of x is greater than cardinality of y, then no injective function can be made from x to y. No injective function can be formed. It means formed from x to y. When cardinality of x is greater than cardinality of y. Because if we will relate one element of x with one element of y, then we are unable to relate all the elements of x to the elements of y. We have seen. Yes. x1, x2, x3, x4. It is suppose y1, y2, y3. You relate this, yes, y3. What about x4? You cannot relate x4 to any other element of y. Why? Because if you will relate it to any other element, then it will no more be injective. It will be many one. It is not 1-1. So to make one function from one set to another set, the cardinality of x should be less than equal to cardinality of y. Similarly, if cardinality of x is less than cardinality of y, then no surjective function can be found from x to y. No surjective function can be formed from x to y, right? So this is the thing. Okay? Please remember, if cardinality of x is less than cardinality of y, then only an injective function from x to y can be formed. If cardinality of x is greater than equal to cardinality of y, then only a surjective function can be formed from x to y. But when cardinality of x is equal to cardinality of y, then only bijective functions can be made from x to y, right? Or if f is a bijective function from x to y, then cardinality of x is equal to cardinality of y. Okay? This is the thing. Now the question arises, if this is the thing, suppose, yes, when we can form an injective function when this cardinality of x is less than cardinality of y. Okay, so let us see how many injective functions can be made from x to y. Suppose, yes, let x and y be, let x and y be two finite sets such that cardinality of x is less than cardinality of y, right? Less than or equal, say, cardinality of y. Then, or less than simply, then how many injective functions can be made, can be formed from x to y. How many injective functions can be formed? Yes. Let us take an example. Suppose it is x, it is x1, x2, x3 up to x m number of elements here, and suppose it is y, which has y1, y2, y3 up to yn plus 1 up to yn plus p. This is suppose, sorry, it is m plus 1, m plus y, m plus 2, y, m plus p. Suppose this is equal to m plus p is equal to m plus p is equal to n, right? It is y. How many injective functions can be made from this to this? Yes, first what we do, how you will form an injective function. Suppose x1 is here, we want to relate x1 with all these elements, say, we'll write like this, yn and m is less than n, right? This is the, what we will do, suppose we will relate x1 with y1. Of course, we can relate x1 with y2 or x1 with y3, x1 with y4. Thus, x1 can be related to an element of y. In how many different ways? N different ways. We can relate x1 with y1 or x1 with y2 or x1 with y3 or x1 with like this yn. Thus x1 can be related to an element of y, in n different ways, right? Once x1 is related to an element in y, suppose I have related x1 with y, suppose. Similarly, I may relate x1 with y2. So anyway, I will relate it with one element of y. So how many elements remaining there? n minus 1 elements. While I will relate to x2, I will relate x2 with another element of y. How many ways I can relate? Since it is injective, we cannot relate it. If x1 is related to y2, we cannot relate x2 with y2. x2 cannot be related to y2. Why? Because x1 is related to that. So for x2, there are n minus 1 number of elements. That is, x2 can be related in n minus 1 different ways, right? Similarly, x3 in n minus 2 different ways. And similarly in the last elements, xm, proceeding in this manner, it will be n minus m minus 1 different ways. That is equal to n minus m plus 1 different ways. So you see, x1 can be related in n ways, x2 in n minus 1 different ways, x3 in n minus 2 different ways, like this xm in n minus m plus 1 different ways. So by fundamental principle of counting, x1, x2 up to xm can be related to the elements of y in how many ways? In n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to n minus m plus 1 different ways, which is equal to what? This is equal to, you can write n into n minus 1 up to n minus m plus 1. Next, n minus m factorial, I will multiply n minus m factorial, denominator n minus m factorial. This is n factorial by n minus m factorial, which is equal to pnm. Permutation of n objects taking m at a time, right? Simply, you have m objects in a row. You have to arrange these n objects in m places. In how many different ways? It is p and m. The formula is this: n factorial by n minus m factorial. This is the number of injective functions that can be made from x to y. Okay. And similarly, if cardinality of x is equal to cardinality of y is equal to n, say, then number of injective functions from x to y is what? It will be n factorial. How? N factorial by n minus n factorial, that is 0. N minus n is 0. 0 factorial is 1. Factorial 0 is 1. So it will be n factorial. This is the number of injective functions from x to y that can be formed when the cardinality of x is equal to cardinality of y is equal to n. This is n factorial, right? N factorial. Okay, so this is about the relationship between cardinality of x and cardinality of y when there is a injective function or a bijective function from one set to another set, when an injective function can be formed and when it cannot be. Let us discuss a very beautiful example of a function, and we will test whether that is injective or surjective. Let us say. Okay. Yes, a real function, f is a real function, that means f is a function from R to R. F is a function from R to R defined as fx is equal to x square minus 1 by x square if x is not equal to 0, and 0 if x is equal to 0, right? So test whether this function is injective and surjective or not. Let us test. You see, f of 0 is 0, f of 1 is 1 square minus 1 by 1 square, that is 1 minus 1, that is 0. F of minus 1, this is also minus 1 square minus 1 by minus 1 square, that is 1 minus 1, that is also 0. Thus, f of minus 1 is equal to f of 1, that is equal to f of 0, that is equal to 0. But minus 1 is completely different from 1, and 1 is completely different from 0. Minus 1 is also completely different from 0. These are not equal. So these are different elements. Hence, so f from R to R is not injective. It is not injective. It is not 1, 1. Right? Let us test whether this function is surjective or not. Surjective. When it will be surjective? Yes, if range of f, yes, here domain is R, codomain is R. So range of this function should be equal to R. That means for every y here, for every real number here, we can find a real number here whose image is that. So let us test. For 0 belongs to R, there exists 0 belongs to R such that f of 0 is equal to 0. Right? So 0 has a pre-image. No problem. If so, let y belongs to R such that y is not equal to 0. Suppose y is not equal to 0. So we will find x belongs to R difference 0 such that f of x is equal to y if y is equal to what? F of x, x square minus 1 by x square. That is if y is equal to x to the power 4 minus 1 by x square. That is if x square, yx square is equal to x to the power 4 minus 1. That is if x to the power 4 minus yx square minus 1 is equal to 0. That means it behaves like a quadratic function, that quadratic equation, that is if x square square minus yx square minus 1 is equal to 0. That is if x square is equal to S minus B means y plus minus B square. B is y square minus 4ac minus minus plus 4ac means 4 into 1 into 1, right? Yes, it is x square u square minus y into u minus 1, quadratic equation. It is this by minus b plus or minus b square minus 4ac by 2a, 2x square, sorry, by 2. A is 1 here, right? By 2. But you see, x square is a non-negative term. X square is a non-negative number. And if you take minus sign here, you see y square plus 4 is greater than y square or not? This implies square root of that. Y square plus 4 will be greater than y. It will be greater than y. If you take the positive sign, you have to take the positive sign because here it is x square. X square cannot be negative. So it should be greater than y. When it is greater than y, if it is minus here, the total will be a negative quantity. Y minus a greater value of y. Greater value than y. So it will be negative. Y minus a number which is greater than y, because y square plus 4 is greater than y. Root over of y square plus 4 is greater than y. Yes, we have reduced here. So we have to take the positive sign, or you take this, but you simply write, but x square is greater than equal to 0. So x square is equal to what? Plus square root of y square plus 4 by 2, right? So what is x? That is, x is equal to square root of y plus square root of y square plus 4 by 2. You see, y square plus 4, it is a positive number. It is a positive number. We can find the square root of this, and it is greater than y. In case y is negative, this quantity will be greater than this minus y. So minus y plus this will be a positive quantity. The square root, yes, this means, this implies y plus, yes, y square plus 4 is a positive quantity, and this implies square root of y plus square root of y square plus 4 belongs to R. It will be a real number. You see, it is a positive quantity, y plus square root of y square plus 4. It is a positive quantity. Why it is positive? Y square 4 plus 4 is greater than y square. So y square plus 4 square root, y square root of this is greater than y. It is greater than y. So if y has a negative value, it must be positive. It must be positive, and it is greater than y. So if y is negative, then also y plus this will be positive, and its square root must be in a real number. Thus, for every y, not equal to 0, there exists x which is equal to square root of y plus square root of y square plus 4 by 2, such that f of x is equal to y. Hence, f from x to y is surjective or onto, right? So the given function is not injective but surjective. So you have to take some algebraic process to test whether it is surjective or not, whether it is injective or not. Okay, this finishes this chapter. You go through the exercise. Yes, if you have some problem, then you indicate it or comment it through my Facebook account so that I will solve them and give you through PDF, or I will take another class to solve those problems. Okay, thanks.